Sveiki. But I will speak English. So just imagine, wild year 2000. Dinosaurs are still living around our cities in the forests. And our best wish is to have single-family house somewhere in outskirts of the town. So everybody is trying to get out. So why you should live in the city center, or why you should live in polluted, overcrowded area full of cars, which is unfriendly, which doesn't offer you safety, everybody was asking. And we're going to its single house paradise somewhere outskirts of the town. So the only reason to live in the city center was the room with the view. This is €1 million view, which was the only reason why celebrities and rich people were trying to buy flats somewhere in the city center. This was the first development in year 2000, which actually was selling the views to the Gediminas castle and to the cathedral. And the success of the project, of course, was there because we had these 50 people which could afford this 1 million window for themselves. We as a planner saw the potential of the city center. We had 500 hectares in the city center which could be redeveloped, which were former industrial areas, which stood empty, and were of huge potential for city inner development. And we succeeded. Actually, in 10 years, from 2011 till 2022, 13,000 people moved to the city center. And city center got younger. We have more young people coming to the city there. So what was the reasons of that success? Firstly, we tried to encourage people to invest because it was clear what you get investing outskirts of the town, and it was unclear what can you get inside. So we changed. We did one project, POPs, which was really about changing of city development perspectives. What we did in POPs? Actually, we took historical principles of urbanism. Somehow they run for themselves. So actually, we created the lively space in the streets. We saved green space around, and we created nice yards for the people to stay and to have their privacy and safety for the kids. I think that was the biggest success of that project, which was really like a star in the development of Vilnius city center. And after that, everybody thought, wow, maybe I could also try to do that. Municipality invested just 20 million euros in the greenery, in the streets, and then the private developers invested about 150 million in one stage, then in another, and there is another big area going with the same principles as well at the moment. So we really, with very small public money, we achieved really good result. And that is because of the planning and because of work together with the investor. We tried to find out green spaces. We didn't sell those empty areas to the developers. We put the green spaces there because in the city center, as in Riga, we had lack of green spaces. And just as one example of the area which was like an empty space inside the block and was transformed into green area for the people to live around. As we still had lack of green spaces, we used streets and public spaces. We closed them for Sundays. We arranged market and playing grounds in the middle of the street just to show that you can also make a comfort for the inhabitants just in your neighborhood, despite you don't have a green area close to it. We had special policy for ground floors. Just open your ground floors was our requirement to the developers. This creates safety, creates contact between street and the people sitting inside, and this also makes the street more attractive place to be. We created special requirements in our master plan, saying that if you make open ground floor for the different functions, you get additional square meters. If you make underground parking, you get additional square meters. This way, not requiring, but asking to do this, we get more result as just using it in a normal bureaucratic regulation. People start doing that, and then the business were developing, and then the required result was here. We received more lively ground floors. In COVID time, we opened all our streets for the restaurants. Just go outside and put your tables. We just draw the scheme that you just have to leave some places to go through or to drive through. Just put your tables there. And then the way how we use the street as a restaurant changed. Now we sit in the street from December till February as well, although just a few years ago it was just completely unthinkable. We tried to extend possibilities for the people to work. So just 10 years ago, this was the main pedestrian walkways through our old town. We tried to loop it. And then we've noticed that this loop is extending. We had additional things developing close to our loop, because you can walk around, you meet friends, somebody is walking one way around, the other are walking another way around. You meet people, you talk, and this became like a scenario to go to the city center. This made the city center more livable. We did a lot to calm the traffic. This was great discussion about narrowing the streets. We tried to find place for the pedestrians, for the bicycles, and to reduce space for the cars, which was done in the 20th century when the car has had the priority in our old town, in city center. We even put the bike paths in these historic streets, and it was also a big discussion. Red asphalt in historic surrounding, would it fit? But with this, we made clear sign that if you need to drive a bike, if you like biking, you can do it also in the city center. You have a space. You have a space where your child can safely go by bike. We put a lot of trees and bushes in our streets because you walk more comfortable when you have shadow and when you are protected with bushes from the cars just passing by. This made possibilities to walk, not to drive, but to walk from one object to another, much more comfortable. We made also loops for the traffic. So we stopped transit going through our old town and made possibilities to drive with a car, just go in and go out. You cannot go through. Of course, also was big discussions, was big fights, big political fights, but at the end, everybody sees that there is less traffic in the old town and you have more possibilities to walk. In year 2024, you still have a lot of advertisement which are selling you a room with a view. You still have them for the celebrities, for the millionaires. They still have the option to buy their window for 1 million euros. But the major people which moved to the city center of Vilnius, they moved there not because of the view. They moved there because of the quality of life. This is the main message I wanted to say to you. Thank you.
Woo!